Good evening. It's 7 o'clock. Welcome to the February 25th regular meeting of the Plymouth Canton Board of Education. My name is Anupam Chugsadhu. Thanks for being here tonight. It's nice to see a big crowd. I would like my board colleagues to introduce themselves, starting on my left.
Hi, good evening. My name is John Lazarowitz. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Patty McCoy, thank you for being here.
Doug Brooks, thanks for coming out tonight.
Hi, I'm Kate Borninski. Thanks for coming.
Ms. Barrett, would you like to introduce your staff?
Good evening and welcome. I'd like to begin by introducing my assistant, Miss Diane Robertson, and thank her for taking the minutes this evening. Also, the man behind the scenes, Charlie Jones, who captures our videos for our community members who cannot be present this evening. I'd like to ask the remaining staff members to introduce themselves to you, beginning with Ms. P.S.
Hi, thank you. I'm Debbie Piaz. I'm the Chief Finance and Operations Officer. Welcome.
Good evening, Liz Vartanian-Gibbs, Assistant Superintendent, Human Resources. Welcome.
Good evening, Kurt Tiskowitz, Executive Director of Student Services. Thanks for coming tonight.
Good evening, Beth Rail, Chief Academic Officer. Thanks for being here.
Good evening, Heather Fitzpatrick, President, Education Association.
And hello, Nick Brandon, Executive Director of Communications and Marketing. Good to see you.
Great. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I have two students from Erickson and Canton who are going to lead the Pledge of Allegiance for us. Come on up. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ladies. All right, we're moving on to our first item, the adoption of the agenda, approval of the consent agenda. I'm looking for a motion for action item number 20-02-40.
Madam President, I move that we adopt the agenda and approve of the consent agenda, action item 20-02-40.
I second it.
Thank you. Motion was made by Member Brooks, seconded by Member Lazarowitz. Ms. Merritt, would you like to walk us through the consent agenda?
Yes, this evening our consent agenda consists of human resources transactions since our last time together. We have leaves and retirements for your consideration. We have the approval of minutes from our regular meeting on February 11th, 2020, and we have two final readings for policy 1420, that's the school administrator evaluation, and policy 3220-4220, professional staff evaluation.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, please say nay. Thank you. Motion passes 5-0.
This evening, I would just like to recognize Leanne Sheehan. She's a literacy interventionist at Miller Elementary School. She will be retiring at the end of the school year after 15 years of service, so congratulations to Leanne.
Thank you. We are moving on to Part B, Celebrating Success, and Member McCoy has that honor today.
Thank you.
So, celebrating success this evening will honor the Canton High School varsity pom-pom team. These student athletes, led by their outstanding coaches, are the 2020 MHSAA Class A Division I state champions. Yes, yay! The team had a storybook season as the Chiefs also won the Mid-American Pom-Pom High Kick Championship last November. So we're going to have them come on up. The girls are led by their three captains, Amalia Stanza, Bree Amick, and Andrea Pike. Teammates are Renee Warsier, Lacey Courtney, Cassidy Craigs, Lydia Donnelly, Devin Hill, Rachel Provenzano, Elena. You can be over here because we're gonna have the coach. We're gonna have your coach come up too. Elena Styron, Grace Tuckman, and Selena Vitajowski. So 1 year ago, these girls set the goal of becoming state champions this season, and they never lost sight of their vision, putting in endless hours of hard work and dedication. The program is led by their coaches, head coach Jenny Kessler and assistant coach Brandy Amick. Are they here? Come on up. And Coach Kessler, did you want to say a few words? Yeah.
Wow, thank you for honoring this team. These girls work so hard. You know, prom season is very long, and they set their goal 1 year ago, never lost sight of it, and we're very proud of their hard work. So thank you.
Did the captains want to say anything, or? No, you're good? Okay. All right. So, thank you. And on behalf of the Board of Education, I'm going to present you with the STARS Award for students with tenacity, achieving, and reaching success. So, we have Andrea, Bree, Cassidy. She's not here. Can I give that to you? Thank you. Devin? Elena? She's not here. Grace? Lacey? Not here. Now it's a school night. Lydia? Maybe. Maybe it's a school night.
No, don't start.
Rachel? Renee? Oh, everybody wants them. Selena? And Amelia. All right, thank you so much. And if you would like to go around and you can shake the hands of the board and the administrators.
Congratulations. Great job. Great job. Great job.
I know. You guys, you did, it was fantastic.
Great job. Great job. Great job. Oh, great job, Coach. Great job.
All right.
That is quite the honor. Congratulations, young ladies, and to the coaches. I know how hard you work. I used to coach pom-pom, and it was, you guys work really, really hard, so congratulations. First up is the President's Report. Actually, we are on letter C, Board Committee Reports. I want to honor and thank the ASD teacher, Mary Kay Herr, who was honored by a local nonprofit. And I read a lot about her, so congratulations, the P-CCS teacher, for doing such great work. I also heard about the great Black History Month program that just happened, and I'm sorry I missed it. I don't know if anyone attended, but I heard great things about it. It was all over Twitter, and I got to see some of the performances on Twitter, so if you haven't had a chance, go watch them. And I also want to thank my board colleagues, members Kehoe, Berninski, and McCoyne, for their active involvement in the community bond presentations and discussions. I have to tell you, it has been amazing. Because as we go around doing these together, people really see the need, and people get it, and people are excited that we are moving forward. And so these discussions, these Q&A sessions have been phenomenal. I think the community has learned a lot, we have learned a lot, and I think just building those relationships is critical. And one of the things we mentioned last time too is people still don't understand how public schools are funded. And it's not an easy task, by the way. They don't make it easy. So one of the things that we'll continue to do is make sure that we advocate on behalf of public education and how public schools are funded and how inadequately we are funded. So more to come on that. But thank you for showing up to these bond presentations, and for the community members, thank you for being there and engaging in these phenomenal conversations with us. I would also like to remind everyone that the board is seeking community input for programs and activities. There's a survey link that was in the Learn, Prepare, Thrive newsletter that just came out February 25th. So you have, thank you. You have up until February 5th to complete that survey. I'm sorry, March 5th to complete that survey, so please do so. And I also want to say that I got a chance to see that the state champs saluted Superintendent Merritt's late father, Herman Boone, in a video. If you haven't had a chance to see that, it is a touching, phenomenal, great tribute to the late Herman Boone. And it's amazing. It just brings you to tears of what a legacy he left behind. And what a great family. Oh my gosh. So, and if you haven't had a chance to see Remember the Titans, you've got to go see it. It was one of the first movies I saw with my son, who's a big football player. That is all that I have for the President's report. We're moving on to the Student Performance and Achievement Committee report, and we have not met since last time, but we do have a meeting coming up on March 4th, and that's at 4:30 right here, and everyone's welcome. Member McQueen, you're up next.
So the policy committee actually met tonight at 5:30 down in the superintendent's conference room. We had a lovely discussion, and we will be meeting again March 24th at 5:30 down in the conference room. Everybody is welcome.
And next is Finance and Operations. Member Keogh's not here, so Member Brooks is going to cover.
Sure. Well, we usually start at 5 o'clock on the second and the fourth Thursday of each month. And first thing we do is public comment, which there wasn't any at this time. Then the second thing is approval of the minutes, and we approved the last minutes for February 6th. And then we talked about the financial statements ending January 31st, 2020. And then finally, the budget survey, we discussed that. And that's about it. Our next meeting is on, let's see, March the 5th at 5 p.m. And everybody's welcome. If you want to come out and just listen, that'd be great. Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, we have a school improvement plan highlight from Discovery Middle School.
And so it's my pleasure to introduce Anthony Ruella, our Executive Director of Middle School Assessment and School Improvement, who will share with us our presentation.
Well, it's thank you for having us here this evening. It's my honor and pleasure to present to you Mr. Terry Sawchuck, principal of Discovery Middle School, and his team to share some of the fabulous work that they're doing. They're going to tell you about a national and state recognition that they've earned and the fabulous work that they've done as a staff to prepare themselves, prepare their students and school community for this award and how they elevate all students on a daily basis. So, Mr. Sawchuck.
Thank you, Anthony. Good evening. I want to thank Superintendent Merritt and the board for giving us the opportunity to present some of the exciting things that are happening at Discovery Middle School. At this time, I'd like for our team to introduce themselves.
Alex Noroyan, Assistant Principal.
Can you come up to the microphone, please?
Alex Noroyan, Assistant Principal.
Charles Hall, STEM teacher.
Hi, I'm Christine Newman. I'm a school psychologist, and I'm part of the social emotional learning team.
I'm Meghan Hudson. I'm the Academic and Behavior Support Specialist.
And I'm Rob McLaren, 7th grade ELA teacher and Skills for Success teacher.
As you can see, we don't have any fun at Discovery. At the time of our designation, we were the 16th school in Michigan that has qualified to be a school to watch. What's really impressive is that out of those 16 schools, 2 are right here in Plymouth Canton, Discovery Middle School and East Middle School. What is School to Watch? It's awarded to schools for excellence in education in 4 areas listed here: academic excellence, developmental responsibility, social equity, and organizational structures and processes. This journey began last spring. Anthony and I were in my office, and Anthony said, and I wish I could do a Jersey accent, "Hey T, you guys are doing a lot of great things here at Discovery. Why don't you apply to be a school to watch?" So we began the application process. We researched and completed pages of data points. We then had to survey our staff on 4 different areas and identify our strengths and weaknesses. The next step was to write a narrative identifying all all of the 4 areas and where we are currently at our building. The final step was a site visit. Our staff was a little nervous, but to me, this was going to be the easiest step. At our staff meeting, I told them, just do you. We're going to be great. So on the site visit, they have a school to watch team. They spend the entire day evaluating all 4 areas in every classroom and debriefed with Alex and I at the end. They had a number of great things to say about Discovery Middle School. A couple of things that I was extremely proud about was they highlighted our relationships with students and that we have a good and great teachers in our building, and that very rarely happens. Monica, do you remember the 3 words I emailed you? Now, I prepped you for this on Friday, too. You know this. We did it. You're right. We did it. I said, yes, we did it. That's a tribute to our amazing teaching staff, all of our awesome students, our support staff, our phenomenal office staff, our fantastic plant engineer, my boss, Anthony, I had to throw that in, and our entire Discovery community. We did it. So you guys could clap. Our first area that they evaluate you is academic excellence. This is actually our 8th grade math. We're co-teaching here, or team teaching here. Goals and objectives. This is our school improvement goal. It's an overarching goal. We use data and set specific objectives to increase proficiency in ELA, math, science, and social studies. Today we're going to speak to some powerful practices and our plan of action for continuous improvement in student achievement. This focus on culture and community will allow us to build relationships and more effectively partner with our students and our families to raise achievement levels of all students in all academic areas. Powerful practices. Culturally proficient instruction. We use at Discovery involves first getting to know our students through surveys and interviews so we construct lessons plans that relate to their interests and culture. Also using student vocabulary and restorative circles help reach the needs of all students and again build relationships with our students and staff. Some of our teachers are practicing culture club circles to allow students to explain and celebrate their cultures. That's very powerful. We've been using restorative practices for the past few years and have had great success in our building, relationships with students, staff, and the entire Discovery community. We'll talk about our communication practices a little later. As always, we'll continue to analyze our data to inform instruction practices. All of our ELA and math teachers have individual meetings with all their students and go over their NWEA data, identifying where they are currently and how much they need to grow. Oh, I'm sorry. PBIS, our motto is be respectful, be responsible, be safe. A few years ago, we decided to better examine our PBIS program. We wanted to make sure we gave the students clear behavioral expectations and what it means to be a Discovery Eagle. First, our teachers discussed our classroom, hallway, and lunchroom expectations with their students. Then they watched a video of what the expectation looks like. Then the students model the expectation as we walk the hallways and practice the lunchroom process. For instance, in the lunchroom, we teach them how to line up, go through the food line, purchase their lunch, lunchroom table etiquette, and finally, how we dispose of our trash as we exit the lunchroom. This has been a very successful process for the students and staff. Web is our transition program for our 6th grade students. Web also provides leadership opportunities for our 8th grade students. Some of the things students do during their transition day involves team building with their new classmates, tours of the school, and most importantly, lots of practice with their new lockers. Our USA Hockey game, Discovery and East Middle School have continued our partnership with USA Hockey and attend a USA Hockey game as a PBIS reward for all of our students. Targeted support across content areas. This is our SLAMS program. SLAMS is an academic intervention built into our school day. This is the reason why we came up with SLAMS. We used to offer after-school tutoring with transportation, but we weren't reaching all the students we know that need support to be successful. Our numbers were anywhere from 10 to 15 students per tutoring session. And again, we were providing transportation. However, SLAMS allows us to potentially support 180 students per SLAM session each day during homeroom. SLAM started as more of a one-on-one small group intervention and kind of grew into what we have today that also includes large group instruction, peer tutoring, homework completion, reteaching, retaking tests, and quizzes. There's also a survey that students are required to take at the end of each session that gives us data. Some of the survey questions include what subject area they participated in, what did you work on, and was it helpful? We're going to look at some data. Again, all of our interventions are paying off and our discovery students are growing. If you look at our ELA data on the left, this is a snapshot of our last year 8th graders who are currently at the park. You can see as 6th graders, they scored 32.6% proficient or advanced on the MSEP. They made a huge gain that next year as 7th graders to 52.6%. So much of a gain that we were audited by the state of Michigan to confirm reporting accuracy. That's pretty amazing. Anthony's report basically said that all of our supports and structures with great instruction have allowed our students to grow and achieve. Pretty remarkable. They again continue to grow as 8th graders, scoring well in the PSAT. Now this year's 8th graders have similar numbers as far as growth. Again, this tells us that all of our support structures and instruction continue to grow our discovery students. As we look at math data and see our past 8th graders showed growth all 3 years and that our current 8th graders are growing as we prepare to take the PSAT later this year. Looking at the 6th grade scores, we have put programs in place and have focused on our students that are not proficient in math and ELA. We want to make sure that we provide every student with the tools they need to be successful. We're extremely thankful that the district provides us with support programs like Read 180, Math 180, Skills for Success classes. Also, we believe that these programs, along with other building interventions and the addition of an academic behavioral support person, Meghan, and with our social emotional person, Christine, have made a positive impact with our students. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Hall, and he's going to talk about STEM.
Well, I'm not used to the microphone. I would like to highlight some of the STEM skills that we teach in STEM classes. STEM is offered to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, where I see about 430 students a year. Some of the areas we promote in STEM are problem-solving skills, teaching middle school students how to apply problem-solving in a variety of content areas is a skill that cuts across all disciplines. We start by teaching students the basic process of problem-solving by developing a solution to an identified problem. Students make prototypes using 3D printers and revise them to make sure they are solving the problem. Communicate effectively in writing. Healthy communication is essential for effective collaborative classrooms. Students must be able to take highly technical knowledge and describe it in a clear and simple way for others. They have to self-assess. Students self-assess by identifying their own skills gap, revising work, and setting realistic goals for themselves. Developing a set of learning habits to make them successful. Students turning mistakes into opportunities allow students to make mistakes on a project is encouraged in STEM, so students will brainstorm with other students to come up with solutions to the problem, encouraging ownership of their learning. Student-driven instruction. Students have a blend of collaborative and individual work in the STEM lab. Students use technology that is meaningful and connected to the real world. Creativity. Students are encouraged every day in STEM to think on their own feet and solve real-world problems. Over the past 2 years, STEM has placed a lot of emphasis on teaching students how to code. So we've made a substantial, what do I want to say, substantial
You've been asking me for things, and I've been giving it to you.
Yes, he's been providing many things for the classroom. So we have 14 3D printers in the STEM lab, which give them the opportunity to have access to that in groups. So group of 2, every 2 students have the access to a 3D printer. It gives them they have 3 different programs that run the 3D printers. They have to code it, they have to program it, they have to do all the design work. They design something, then they figure out, oh, this isn't working, how do I come back and solve my problem? and that's what we use the 3D printers for. We have two different types of CNC routers in the classroom where the students do all their own design work. They have to program it, they have to set it up, and then they have to do the coding for the CNC routers. This year we introduced the laser engraver to the Discovery STEM Lab, which allows students to have another opportunity for real work experience. 8th grade students have the opportunity to take robotics, where students build a robot. They learn the programming autonomously to make it move around without a controller. This quarter we're introducing drones to the robotics class, and students will have the opportunity to build the drone, build the controller, program both the controller and the drone to fly in the classroom. So those are just a few of the things that we're doing in the STEM lab.
Thanks. Mr. Hall is always on me about, I need more stuff. I need more stuff for the kids. We also have also have an engine in there that the kids can, some kids want to do that. They want to pull it apart and put it back together. So we're doing some great stuff in STEM, and I'm thankful for Mr. Hall.
All right, the next pillar of being a school to watch is being developmentally responsible. When the school to watch team came to Discovery, they really enjoyed the word wall that we have posted on the left and our driving questions from our new science curriculum, which is displayed on the right. Discovery's word wall is an ongoing, organized display of key words that provide visual reference for students throughout their new units. These words are used regularly by teachers and students. Also displayed on the side on the right is the driving question board. This forces Discovery students to think deeper and use higher level learning techniques to challenge their thinking. At Discovery, our team often uses data-informed decisions to help all of our students achieve success. Data is analyzed and supports are implemented to fit the needs of each individual student. An example of this is when our staff logs student visits into MyStar. During the first semester, Discovery staff entered well over 700 visits. The number as of today is well over 930. This includes parent contact, conversations with students, restorative conversations, conflicts, and other important information. This allows our staff to see what supports have been implemented and provides us with data to continue to meet the needs of all of our students. This gives staff an idea as to what supports are working and what has already been tried. It also gives staff open communication to show what parent contact has been made. All right, so our tiered intervention slide. And at Discovery, we stress keeping our students in school. We're very creative with our discipline, and we've been very successful at implementing a variety of alternatives to suspensions. This includes reflection packets, administrative exclusion, community service, restorative circles, etc. Keeping students in school is important for a variety of reasons. It allows them to stay up to date on their schoolwork, provides them with learning opportunities, and also allows us to build relationships with the students and their families. Parents are very appreciative that we are finding alternatives to suspensions and taking steps to help ensure their students' success. Creating positive relationships with the parents is vital to make sure that we are all in for their children. We also offer a variety of additional supports at Discovery, including Ms. Hudson, who's right here, which is our student behavior specialist, and also Ms. Newman, who works as our social emotional support. Discovery is so lucky to have these additional supports as our students use them daily. We also have an amazing group of teachers, counselors, and office staff that provide our students with daily love and support. Additional supports that we offer at Discovery is our multi-tiered system of supports, our MTSS program, a quiet study room that we offer for 7th and 8th grade students during lunchtime. We also offer an academic lunch for students that are seeking additional support. These students spend time with the counselor or support staff, and they receive extra assistance if they want it. The last thing that we use at Discovery is our check-in, check-out system, which I know Ms. Hudson and Ms. Newman are going to talk about right now.
Hi, I'm part of the district's social emotional learning team. I have 25 students on my caseload that were selected based on a history of frequent office referrals and suspensions. We meet in small groups weekly, and I utilize the second step curriculum with them, which focuses on social emotional learning, building relationships, goal setting, handling emotions, and conflict resolution. Additionally, I use the SMARTS online executive functioning program, which also does some goal setting, organization, time management, and study skills. I see about 38 students on a regular basis, usually individually, sometimes in small groups. These are students who typically are having difficulty in school, whether it's problems with peers or teachers or difficulty regulating their emotions. Many of these students have a history of trauma, or they're experiencing some significant home life stressors, or possibly they have some mental health needs, and just may benefit from some additional support to help them get through the school day. I run Restorative Circles weekly in our 6th and 7th grade Skills for Success classes. These are times where we reflect and talk about the topic being discussed in class that week. And I also do Restorative Circles in many of our general education classrooms. These are class meetings to, sometimes they reset classroom expectations and norms, and sometimes they're just more community relationship building.
All right, I'm Meghan Hudson. I'm this academic and behavior support specialist. I work a lot with Christine and a lot with the counselors. So I currently have 13 students on my caseload, but there's a number of other students that I see for breaks during the day and visits, but they are considered on other people's caseloads, like Christine's or the social workers, or we have an emotional impairment specialist as well. I do see 20 students in small groups during the week, so I have a couple academic support groups. I have a behavior support group, and then I have a depression and anxiety group that I see as well. I do have 4 classes that I visit 2 times a month, and I run the second step curriculum with them as well. And then I've also gone into classrooms and done restorative circles with classroom expectations and norms and things like that. On average, and these are just kids who remember to sign in, most of them don't, I see about 100 student visits a month, and those are students, like Christine said, that are having, sometimes they have mental health issues, social issues, sometimes they have issues with teachers, things like that. And tying that into our school improvement plan, if these students are having these depression, anxiety, and panic attacks and social problems, they're not actually focusing in class. So they can come to our rooms, have a little bit of conversation with us. We work on coping skills, kind of talk them through the process, and they're able to go back to class and focus and be present. So that is kind of how we help, you know, those test scores and that stuff. So some of the interventions that we do, like Alex has said, we have check and check out. So we have a number of students on check and check out. And we have teacher communication with that and parent communication at home. They earn rewards at school as well as rewards at home. A lot of restorative circles. Sometimes it's teacher and student individually. I just did one yesterday with a teacher and student. Sometimes it's a whole class. Sometimes it's just kids with their peers. And the hope is that eventually these students will take these skills and do it on their own without us present, and we've actually seen that happen. We have chill out passes, so sometimes students just need like a little bit of a 5-minute break. We do the targeted small group instruction and the second step lessons.
This year we've also been trying to expand mindfulness in our school. We created a large display at the end of the 6th grade hallway, and I took a little time at the beginning of the year and introduced all of our 6th graders to what mindfulness is. The display kind of teaches about the benefits of mindfulness. It also gives different breathing techniques they can try and different coping strategies if they're just having a rough day. There's additionally, I have a huge color poster that's out there if they want to take a few peaceful minutes to color, and there's an exercise ball if they need a movement break. So our hope is that all of our students gain strategies for helping them be better able to regulate their emotions, and we're hoping to provide them with the support they need to meet with success in school.
Hi, I'm the 7th grade version of the Skills for Success class. We have a 6th grade teacher and an 8th grade teacher as well. I have about 18 students in my class this semester, and they're in there for a variety of reasons. For one reason or another, they're just not meeting the academic success that we want them to have. And so one of my main core jobs is to identify what's keeping them from being as successful as they can and trying to help them meet those success stories. So one of the things that we do, as we talked about mindfulness. We have meditation Mondays. The kids really are into it, and I think it really helps the kids focus on what tasks need to be accomplished. They participate in reflective circles, as Christine said. They learn best habits for study habits. A lot of these kids haven't really learned how to study successfully, haven't learned how to study for tests, haven't learned to set aside time to get their homework done and get their assignments done. And so we teach them best practices on how to get those assignments done and completed. We use the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens in our classroom. We talk about what it means to be proactive. And students are given time for task completion every single day. I try to give them at least 20 or 30 minutes every day to work on tasks, because a lot of times kids don't have that support at home to help them complete those tasks. So I kind of act as that extra support in the classroom to help them learn math. Even though I'm an ELA teacher, I brush up on my math so I can help them with their math and their science and their social studies, so that they can be successful in class. And overall, especially this group this year, this semester, they have said it's been a real, just in the 5 weeks that we've had them, we've seen lots of E's go to B's and A's this semester. So it's really been a wonderful thing for the kids, and for me, I love to see the success in the classroom.
And I just want you guys to know Mr. Sawchuck was coloring today on the color wall when he was stressed and he was coloring. So staff used it also. All right, the third criteria that the Schools to Watch look at is social equity. During our School to Watch visit, they identified a couple things, social equity pieces or areas where all students have an opportunity to participate. So at Discovery, we pride ourselves on giving all students a voice and a place to fit in. We offer a wide variety of clubs and organizations, including Strategic Games Club, which meets once a week. We have a LGBTQ and Gay Straight Alliance. We have a Black Student Union, an Aerospace Engineering Club, which is new to us this year. We offer Food Club, National Junior Honor Society, and Student Council. Shown on this slide on the top picture is our multi-language bulletin board, and that says hello and welcome in a variety of different languages. That's something that the School to Watch team really thought was extremely powerful when they were visiting. Along with different opportunities for students, we also tie in social equity into our classrooms by using culturally proficient instruction and slams, like Mr. Sawchuck mentioned, for additional academic support. Lastly, I want to highlight our Lunch with the Administrators program. This is the program that is offered the last Thursday of every month. Mr. Sawchuck and myself invite students that are new to Discovery or 6th grade students that are new to the district. This event gives us an opportunity to connect with our new students and form a positive relationship with them early on in the school year. We order pizza, soda, and ice cream, while also giving them time to play ping pong, foosball, and other games. On the bottom there is Mr. Sawchuck playing with some of our new 6th graders that are new to the district. Our goal is to allow these students to connect with their classmates who are in similar situations to them. We want them to feel safe, excited, and welcome to be a Discovery Eagle.
I did not win on that foosball game either. Organizational structures and processes. I have those. Oh, jump the gun. Go back, Nick.
Back to the slide. Sure.
Yep. Thank you. As far as our organized structures and processes, the School to Watch evaluation team highlighted the following areas. I'll wait to go over our first structure listed and go right to learning targets. Learning targets are posted in every classroom as I can statements. This allows the students to know what the learning focus is going to be for that day. We also, they also talked about restorative practices, or we've talked about restorative practice a number of times tonight. We believe that this is the foundation that shapes the building culture and climate. Providing students with a school store where they can purchase items with their PBIS Discovery dollars they earn for being respectable, responsible, and safe. Providing recess for students. So I didn't know this. Apparently at other districts they don't provide it for middle school students. So we're thankful that we could build that into our schedule. We talked about culturally proficient instruction and the role it plays in our student achievement. Our second step program that we are currently using in our Skills for Success at Discovery right now, starting second semester as a staff, we talked about it. We have a lot of staff that are currently piloting the second step program in their homeroom on their non-SLAM days. So instead of having 45, 48 students that are able to participate in the program, we hope to maybe have all of our students as a Tier 1 intervention. And our PBIS expectations being posted, presented, and practiced. I truly believe that whatever we emphasize as leaders, the students will learn and grow. So if you can hit on the daily classroom agendas and assignments, and if you can go to Klein. So this is on our webpage, so parents, students can access this. And let's say if a student's absent, he can see what the lesson was.
On there right now, check that homework.
Yep, there you go. Beautiful. So it's all posted, and 2 years ago, well, we probably started it 3 years ago. And 2 years ago, it was in the building stages. Now our teachers have worked together during their PLCs, and techie ones have helped the non-techie ones, and we're getting more and more posted up there for them. It's also a great tool for parents. If you go to Sievers, She's one of our special ed teachers. And if you click on that daily on the top there you go. So it's a great resource for parents also, as they can see, and she has her I can statements on, must do, can do, warm up. So everything's posted on there. So I know my two girls, and they went through our school system, and one's graduated from the park, is on to Wayne State, the other one's a senior. I can't tell you how many times I've asked them, do you have any homework? Oh, no, we don't have any homework. I haven't done anything. And then so now a parent can look on that and see if there's some homework. If you can go to Canaan as the last one. Oh, sorry, Nick. So Amanda Kamen is our Math 180 and a math teacher. And so look at all the resources and videos she has posted on there. So I know, like Rob said about math, he's an ELA teacher and had to brush up on his math. Well, there's a lot of parents that need support with that too, so they can use these videos to help them too. So if you go to the last slide. So I want to include this slide as we partner with Canton PD and their K-9 unit. Currently, our 6th grade science students were learning about the different capabilities of smell that animals and humans have. I think the students made a real-world connection when the officer told them that the K-9s had the capability to identify one green Skittle in 10 Olympic-sized pools filled with yellow Skittles. I mean, that just blew their mind. So we always appreciate Canton PD. They stop by, talk to our kids a lot of times, and so, again, we do appreciate them. With that being said, thank you for allowing us to present to you tonight. One last thing, mark on your calendars, and we'll be sending out invitations too. May 21st, 9:15 to 11 at the Salem Auditorium. We will be celebrating our School to Watch designation, and we're going to do it with East Middle School, and we're going to make it a celebration. So thank you very much.
Wow, thank you. Before you leave, any questions, comments from my board colleagues? Member Borninski?
Did you let Member McCoy go first?
I was wondering when, looking at this data, which amazing achievement, when did you start with having all the social emotional support and behavior interventions? What year was that?
Christina and I both started last year.
Okay.
So that 2018, 2019 year.
Okay.
Any other questions, Member McQueen?
No, good.
Member Borninski?
So I just have to say, I have had 3 students go through Discovery, so I always knew it was a special school, and it's dear to my heart, but congratulations on the Schools to Watch designation. That's just fabulous, and you're so deserving. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the Culture Club circles.
So as we celebrate all different cultures in our school district and at Discovery Middle School, we allowed it like a restorative circles. As we be in the circle, each student will get a talking piece, and they can talk about their culture and what they do. So.
I think that sounds fabulous. I also want to just say I think all these things that you're doing at Discovery are fabulous. I'm really excited about the mindfulness and bringing that into school. Also, shout out to Rob McLaren because you are very special to a couple of my kids. Also wanted to say that I think the lunch with administrators is everything's fabulous. And one last thing that I think just helps the board so much. So just a brief thank you for using cohort data for us. That was really good.
That's great.
So thank you.
Other comments from Member Lazarowitz?
Just a statement. Congratulations on your award. Very proud of you guys. Did well. And for the STEM lab, just one question. With the computers and the 3D printers and stuff like that, do all middle schools have about the same amount, or is it just Discovery has?
We all
more?
have 3D printers.
But the amount of 3D printers?
I would say we have the most of them. The others have at least 4.
And you guys have 14?
14.
14.
Yes.
Okay, but is that sufficient? Do you know?
Well, it's never.
Well, I mean,
Never enough.
No, you're right. Okay. For other middle schools, do you think it's sufficient enough, or?
Well, it's just how we do. Some of the guys are really proficient in the robotics portion, so they push more of the robotics end of it.
Okay.
I like to have 2 of the kids at a time on each one of them, and we have 3 different types that they use in class. So they become the person that, if you have a question about it, you don't come and ask me, you go see Charlie, because he's the expert on that particular one.
Okay.
And so, but no, we're not all, some have more CNC, some have more robotic stuff.
You guys share if you're?
No.
No?
No, I mean,
Hard.
we share, I
All
think we
right.
share the most of the information, but yes, if we have a problem, we all.
Okay. All right, thank you so much.
Yep, no problem.
Anyone else? No? Okay. Well, I just want to echo what everyone's already said. Amazing work, and we'll try to schedule or block that time off on May 21st, 9:15 to 11, to be there and help you celebrate. In addition to what else was said, I love your daily classroom schedule. I think that really helps parents, and we know that when we get parents involved, it really helps you and the kids. So congratulations on everything, and Megan and Christine, I mean, what a great addition to the team. So continue the great work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
guys, appreciate it.
Thank you. Next up is citizens' comments, and I've got 2. Anyone else? If you do, please give that to Nick. We have Aiden Morgan coming up. You'll have 3 minutes.
Hi. So as you can all see, I have the computer, which is new for this time being here. I have the computer because 2 reasons. First and foremost, I am a student, and I have homework, schoolwork, just like all sorts of stuff I have to do to be prepared for tomorrow, be prepared for next week, and all that stuff to stay ahead, make sure I don't fall behind. Also, because there is something written on there that I would like to say, and I'm not the most eloquent person just speaking off the top of my head, so it's something written down. It is a description of Angel Street, which is the show we are currently doing. It was this past weekend and this next weekend. February 20th and 29th are the next 2 shows. I am one of the characters in it, so I would like to read a synopsis of what it is. A Broadway first hit produced on the West End under the title Gaslight and filmed twice, Angel Street tells the story of the Manninghams, who live on Angel Street in 19th century London. As the curtain rises, all appears to be the essence of Victorian tranquility. It is soon apparent, however, that Mr. Manningham, a suavely handsome, is slowly driving his gentle, devoted wife Bella to the brink of insanity with an insinuating kindness that masks more sinister motives. While he is out, Miss Manningham has an unexpected caller, an amiable, paternal Inspector Ruff from Scotland Yard. Ruff is convinced that Mr. Manningham is a homicidal maniac wanted for a murder committed 15 years earlier in this very house. Gradually, the inspector restores Bella's confidence in herself, and as the evidence against Manningham unfolds, the author has built and sustained some of the most brilliant, suspenseful sequences in modern theater. It is a phenomenal story. It's a thriller that we have had just a couple weeks to put on. We started rehearsals when we got back from winter break, and we are already putting on the show. So many people have put so much work into this to make it a phenomenal show that I'm very proud and would be stoked if all of you would come and see it. So I am personally inviting all of you watching, all of you sitting here. So yeah, to come see it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up is Scott Milam.
Hello again. By the way, that was Sine Bradley is the president of the African American Student Association, and she worked tirelessly to put on that show, so I will relay along to her. Yeah, I've been reading a book from Twitter, Making Black Scientists, and I thought it was worth sharing with you, and so I brought a couple things about it. But as a science teacher, I am not as good as I would like to be at teaching black students sometimes. And I saw this and it caught my eye, and I was like, oh, I gotta read more into this. And one of the premises in the book that's very obvious now that I've read it is that there are people who are successful at teaching black students, and a lot of them work at places called HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. And you feel kind of dumb when you're like, yeah, why don't we tap into that resource in order to figure out some philosophy and methods that would work better? I felt like reading it that the overarching theme was that HBCUs put a priority on the student first and foremost, regardless of whatever's going on. The solution is always, what can we do to help the student be successful? Whereas predominantly white institutions focus heavily on systems. How can we put systems in place that help a lot of students, but it's a system, not looking individually at each student. And something that I noticed in the book that they talk about is something I think connects to me as a teacher. So one of the things they said was, despite the larger message of equity and opportunity coming from our country's leading institutions, that their organizational ethos remains steeped in an unquestioned norms and practices and long-held beliefs in minority student inferiority, reproducing racial inequality in the broader American society. And they go on to say, you have to believe that students come in with the potential and that they can be successful. Enacting institutional responsibility to promote black student achievement in STEM is rooted in the belief that all students have the inherent intelligence and capacity to learn and succeed no matter the circumstance. And I think that no matter the circumstance is really important to me because there's a contrast in the messaging in this book and a contrast from what I perceive and what I think the students perceive from when we do course selection. And when kids sign up for classes, the message they often receive is very exclusive. One of the diametrically opposed ideologies in this book is that you can be inclusive or you can be competitive and elitist. You can try and be the best and retain and bring in the best students, or you can try and say, we're going to be the best at training students regardless of who's there. And I found that noteworthy. Now, a small anecdote that goes along with this is that once I was complaining about something, as I do, and it was that they described my class as rigorous. I hate that word, first of all, but also I was like, my class is not rigorous. My class is challenging, but that's different. Rigorous is rigid and inflexible and over-exhaustively overdone. And when I told them that, they said, well, yeah, but that's what I want. I want to deter students from signing up from that class because I don't want them to be put into a situation where they fail. And that's not an isolated thing that I hear in a school. And I think that we're missing part of some of the things that we're doing to our students with our messaging. I had more to say, but I'm out of time. So until next time, thanks.
Thank you. We are now moving on to letter F, administrative reports and recommendations, starting with the superintendent's report.
Thank you. This evening, I'd like to just give an update. We've already publicized this, I believe, on our website and sent out an email, but it's an update on the boundary subcommittee work. It has concluded, and I am pleased to announce that there will be no boundary changes for the 2020-2021 school year. We will definitely continue to assess the housing growth and study our capacity in our buildings to consider any future adjustments that may be necessary. We have announced that for 2021, we will continue to utilize the overflow process in all of our elementary schools where that's necessary, as well as at Pioneer Middle School. And more details about that overflow process is available on our website. I want to remind all students and families that we have our second of 2 late starts this Thursday, February 27th. The first one was in September. For these 2 days, the district will start the school day later than the regular start time at the elementary, middle, and high school grade levels. School end times are not affected, and the respective start times are as follows. For PCEP, they will start at 8:10 a.m., middle schools 9:25, Starkweather 10 a.m., and elementary schools in IPSEP 10:15 start. Just an FYI, it is budget season. It is almost upon us, and so we will have an opportunity. The Board of Education is, of course, always seeking input from the community on programs and activities that will either reduce costs or increase revenue, increase enrollment, but most importantly, just invest in
opportunities for our students. And so this survey will go out. Information is provided in the newsletter. The form will close on Friday, March the 6th at 4 p.m. Nick, did that survey start today? Yep. It started today, so it is available until Friday, March the 6th at 4 p.m. We really want to thank you for taking the time to provide any feedback that you may have so that the Board of Education and School District has your vital input as we formulate the budget for next school year. And I think that is it that I will share this evening. When we finalize this meeting, I know that everybody is wondering about the weather, and we always remind our entire community that it's not an easy process. It is very thoughtful, involving meteorologists, driving the roads, assessing conditions, and making the best call, which does not make everyone happy. We know that, but we make the call that we believe is best for students and for safety. And so as it relates to the weather, I think it's an indication that we'll maybe have some hazardous conditions throughout the day tomorrow, so that will make it challenging, but we will get our team together and have some discussions, and we'll communicate our plans as soon as possible. So we just appreciate everyone's support and patience, and appreciate just everyone once again being patient. Thank you.
Could you remind everyone about the March 10th, 11th, the full day, half day?
All right, so in terms of March 10th and 11th, if you recall, we originally had 2 half days of PD scheduled for our district. We have since announced that there will be no school for students on March the 10th. Our staff will still be here for professional development, and they are aware of their schedule for professional development on that day. So no students on March the 10th, and the half day is still set for March the 11th. The students will be here in the AM, and they will go home on a half-day schedule, and our staff will remain in the PM for professional development.
All right, students, if you don't get if you don't get a snow day tomorrow, March 10th, you have no school.
That's right.
Next up is Finance and Operations. Debbie Pius.
This is resolution number 19, our bid pack number 19, sorry, for summer 2020 work, including a parking lot upgrade, a final reading. At the Board of Education meeting on July 23rd, the Board of Education approved moving forward with this bid package to include, but not limited to, asphalt recess, play pads, driveways, sidewalks, entrances and approaches at Field, Gallimore, Miller East, Pioneer, and Plymouth High School. On January 7th, bids were opened, and we discussed these in great detail at the F&O meeting on February the 6th. The resolution was presented for a first reading on February 11th. This is a total award amount of $536,508 to be funded from the 2015 bond funds.
Okay. I'm looking for a motion for action item 20-02-41. Resolution to approve bid package 19, contract award for parking lot upgrades, final reading.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion for action item 20-02-41 for resolution to approve bid package number 19, contract award for parking lot upgrades, final reading.
Second.
Motion was made by Member Lazarowitz, seconded by Member Brooks. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Please say nay. Motion passes 5-0 for action item number 20-02-41.
Next action item is an approval for award for bid pack number 20, summer 2020 exterior improvements, final reading. Again, at the Board of Education meeting on July 23rd, the Board of Education approved moving forward on bid pack number 20 to include exterior improvements, including but not limited to exterior lighting, overhangs and soffits, and canopy column replacements at Allen Burr, Dodson, Gallimore, Hoban, East, Pioneer, and Plymouth High School. On January 7th, bids were opened. There's an attached letter of recommendation. It was discussed at the F&O meeting on February the 6th and had a first reading on February 11th. Total award, $120,248, again funded from the remaining 2015 bond funds.
Thank you. I am looking for a motion for action item number 20-02-42, resolution to approve bid package 20, contract award for exterior improvement, final reading.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion for action item 20-02-42, resolution to approve bid package 20, contract award for exterior improvements, final reading.
Second.
Motion was made by Member Lazarowitz, seconded by Member Brooks. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Yes.
So we didn't have any discussion. And I have a question.
Do you have, okay.
I was just wondering, for these, the board had approved doing the bids in July of last year, right?
The
Yeah.
board agreed to move forward with the bidding process.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So I'm just wondering about why the delay? Is it just because you knew you weren't going to do the work until this summer, or?
No, it takes several months for all the drawings to be completed by the architectural firm of TMP, and then it goes out. So they went out, I believe, in December. It takes a month or so to be on the street, and then they come back, and the evaluation process takes about a month too, because we vet all the bidders. So it does take some time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let's redo the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. Thank you. Motion passes 5-0. Next action item, looking for a motion for action item 20-02-43, resolution to approve bid package 21, contract award for miscellaneous renovations, final reading.
So again, the Board of Education meeting on July 23rd, 2019, the Board of Education moved forward on the bidding process for these renovations to include but not limited to bathroom renovations, window replacements, floor covering, plumbing fixtures, kitchen renovations, and a cooling tower replacement at Allen, Bird, Dotson, Erickson Field, Gallimore, Hoban, Hulsing, Isbister, Smith, Tonda, Discovery, East, West, Canton, Salem, and the administration building. On January 7, 2020, those bids were opened with a recommendation letter attached, discussed at the F&O meeting on February the 6th for a first reading on February 11th. This is a total project in the amount of $2,987,134, again funded from the remaining 2015 bond funds.
Any questions, discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay.
Wait,
Do we have a motion?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it,
It's okay. I was waiting.
sorry. I am looking for a motion for action item number 20-02-43.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion for action item 20-02-43, resolution to approve bid package 21, contract award for miscellaneous renovations, final reading.
Second.
Thank you. Motion was made by Member Lazarowitz, seconded by Member Brooks for action item number 20-02-43, resolution to approve bid package 21, contract award for miscellaneous renovations, final reading. We need to change it up a bit because I keep reading the same names.
It's okay.
All right, next up is follow-up board questions.
Do we
We need a vote.
vote on the motion?
Vote?
No.
Oh, my goodness. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, now we are moving up to follow-up board questions. Let me get out my follow-up questions list from last time. And if you looked at your board notes, we have 4 outstanding items. The follow-up with the 9 students, we're still waiting on that. The AP Physics course will be discussed at SPA on March 4th. And the third bullet, board members wanted to get the link for the award-winning websites, which was sent out in board notes. And the last bullet was members wanted to share the results for the end-of-year reading program and away from the day. So what I'd like to bring up is, rather than having a presentation, my wondering is, can we have that just a report in board notes? Would that be sufficient for board colleagues? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So if we could change that to just getting an update for the data. And I know it's going to take a while because they're going to wait till the end of the school year. Do we have any follow-up questions from this meeting? Did I miss anything? Because I'm missing a lot.
Covered a lot.
All right. Now we are going to adjourn for a special meeting, and everyone that's in the audience, please stay. And I'm looking for a motion for adjournment into special meeting for equity subgroup workshop.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn to the special meeting.
I second it.
Okay, motion was made by Member Brooks, seconded by Member Lazarowitz. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0 at 8:05. And can we take a 5-minute break before we proceed? Okay.